Please, after watching this video, drop your opinion in the comment section. Let me know how good and how heartless you are.
KwaZulu-Natal Education MECC Pro Shlomuga also confirmed that the government is bound by the constitution in terms of school admission. Shlomuga said that the right to basic education applies universally and warned against disruption to schooling. While acknowledging public concerns over undocumented learners and illegal immigrants occupying public schools, the MEC maintained that education delivery cannot be compromised.
How devastated the families are, and of course the frustration, quite understandable, Michelle, given the fact that these are grief-stricken families.
South Africans come here. If we are paying 500 rand per day per foreign national prisoner in South Africa, why can't they send that 27,000 plus criminals back to their country? Let their country sort them out. Then what our government can do is give all those people that is getting a 380 rand per month, give them 500 rand a week on food stamps. Okay, that means instead of 380, you'll be getting 2,000 rand a month for food, not for wine, not for vouchers, all of those gambling stuff and so on and so on. Guess what that does to the economy? It will boost the economy, because guess what? Now food production and all those type of things, there will be movement, because all that 500 rand per week is going to feed back into the country. But no, we are sitting with a correctional services crisis because it's filled with foreign brothers that was disrespectful towards our country, whether they came here legally or illegally. So why are we paying them 15,000 rand per month of our tax money, our hard-earned tax money, to make sure that they stay alive in these correctional facilities that is already overflooded? You don't deserve that 380. You deserve at least 500 rand a week per person instead of that 380, but you won't be able to, because why? Because we are supporting criminals that come into our country and they misbehave. Think about that, South Africans.
South Africa is highly advanced, yes. Their economy is stable, yes. Their infrastructure is highly advanced, yes. But security is a no-no. I don't want to visit a country where I'm not welcome. I checked your profile. You are Nigerian, I assume. Let me tell you this. You guys like to have empty arrogance, you know? Because first of all, you coming here and telling me that South Africa is an unsafe country, as in, you know, the safety is a no-no, as though the safety is a yes in Nigeria. Aren't you the same people that use humans and you do rituals on humans? Aren't you the same people that are kidnapping kids and nothing gets done by the president, by anybody, by the men, by the women? Aren't you the same people? Aren't you the same people that the world is always scared of? Everybody is trying to discard you as Nigerians because you bring unsafety with the drugs, with the scamming. What are you talking about? When you are talking about a safety, that is a no-no. You guys are a big no-no when it comes to safety. I don't even think I would feel safe in Nigeria. I've never been there, but I doubt I would ever even feel safe just at the airport. The same chaos that I was talking about that I found in Ghana was caused by Nigerians. It was the Nigerians that were at the airport that were chaotic. So please, with the empty arrogance, it's not necessary. You are the last fry to fish here, or the fish to fry. You know, absolutely, we have infrastructure, we've got the economy, we've got advancement, you know. But let me tell you, we are still far safer than your country. I can tell you that for free, without you even asking me. Nobody is kidnapping children here. People work for free. Nobody is doing rituals on people. It's a Nigerian thing. Nobody is scaring people left, right, and center here. You know, the whole world is evoking your visas. They are chasing you out because they feel unsafe. Please. Let me tell you why most Africans are entitled to South Africa, and most of them envy South Africans or South Africa. First of all, South Africa is very stable. Like, there's stability in South Africa. For a foreigner, for a local, there is always stability in South Africa. South Africa is organized. South Africa is a very organized African country. If you travel throughout Africa and you see other African countries, you can see how destabilized the country is, But the one thing that you see in South Africa is it's organized, it's stabilized. There's opportunities in South Africa. There's business opportunities in South Africa. Even for foreigners, a lot of foreigners are thriving here because they can see themselves thriving here and doing better here than they can in their own countries. And that is why they are so entitled to be here. Now, we've got structures, these structures, we are leading in many things. Also, like someone was talking about the president, talking about the fact that when we actually had the march for gender-based violence, I never use this word, the president came through and declared it a national disaster and was just really in awe of how supportive the president of our country is. South Africa is like that, and in many African countries there's no support from their president. There's just no support at all. Let me tell you, South Africa is the gateway to Africans. It's a gateway to many African countries because it's so organized, because it's so stabilized, because there's so much order in South Africa, because most things function in South Africa. The haters may say, oh, that country with the highest HIV and violence, but they're here, they flock here. Most of them go to our healthcare systems. Even when they have their own HIV, they go and they get treated. But they will still say and talk smack and say, it's the country with the highest HIV. Let me tell you, they envy us. They wish they were South Africans. They are entitled because South Africa gives them stability. South Africa gives them the stability that they will never get in their own countries. I remember when I went to Ghana, and I know Ghanaians are going to be in there, kerfuffles. I went to Ghana, this was in 2014, I think. And when I got to the airport, it was so chaotic. It was so chaotic at the airport. And I felt like, I think I know what this country is like because of the chaos that I experienced at the airport. You come through OR Tambo, you can already see that it's organized. Do you know what I'm saying? I've been to other countries in Africa. I've been to Kenya. I've been to Tanzania. They're still organized. But I remember going to Ghana and feeling like, ooh, this is different to what I know in terms of airport. This is the reason why Africans envy us. Africans, other Africans feel entitled. It's because, guys, we are organized. And let me tell you, even the Europeans feel entitled to South Africa. That's why we don't leave as South Africans. That's why they always say, oh, you South Africans, you don't travel. There's no need for us to leave, because the very same thing that you are rushing for in Europe is in South Africa. The Europeans are here. They are not leaving because South Africa is the Europe. Is the Europe that they wish Europe was. That is the reason why. Just deal with it, But just know that that's the reason why people will not leave South Africa, because of its just organization. Even somebody who is experiencing adverse poverty in South Africa is still stable than other people, other countries. Somebody in South Africa who stays in an impoverished area and has a cuckoo, a shack. In South Africa, you can even find a double-story shack. Inside the shack, you can find running water. You can find a normal bathroom. Other countries, when you look at them and people are living in those impoverished, adverse, impoverished areas, there's no running water. It just looks scary. But in South Africa, it doesn't look as scary as it is in other countries. That's the reason why people really want to be in South Africa. That's the main reason. Fight me in the comments if you want.
Parliament has wrapped up the year with the NCOP passing key legislation on immigration and government funding. The Immigration Amendment Bill now requires undocumented foreign nationals held for deportation to appear in court within 48 hours. Changes to the Division of Revenue Act also unlock an extra 2.9 billion rand for disaster-damaged municipal infrastructure.
And this amendment bill really helps, especially the law enforcement officials, in terms of how they should proceed with regard to illegal immigrants that are in detention.
The border management process. We need also to strengthen enforcement. The Immigration Act prohibits anyone from employing illegal foreigners who are not documented. This law prescribes the employment of an illegal, undocumented immigrant as an offense that is punishable through imprisonment or a fine, or both imprisonment or a fine. And the Labor Relations Act and the Basic Conditions of Employment Act does protect foreign nationals who are certificated and documented. But we must now state it very clearly. I want to state it very clearly that employers who continue to employ people who are not documented are committing an offense. And we are going to make sure that those employers stop what they are doing, because South Africans are most unhappy, and they have a sense that the jobs that they should be performing are being taken from them by those who are not documented, but particularly by those employers who practice the acts such as employing people from other countries undocumented because they are cheap labor. So they are committing an offense, and I call on employers, they must stop employing people who are not properly documented. And this is not xenophobic on our side. We welcome, and we've always welcomed workers from other countries who are certificated, who are documented. And we should also know that South Africans, even as they go to other countries, they can't just walk into a country and say, I want a job without being documented or certificated. Other countries require those who work in their countries to be documented. So we require exactly the same thing here. So employers must be warned that if they continue with this practice, it is an offense, they can be fined, and they can be put in prison. So clear warning to all employers. We must follow what the law prescribes in this regard. The Department of Labor has presented an Employment Services Amendments Bill that is to introduce quotas, as it were. Now, the department has, together with Home Affairs, been conducting a number of inspections, and they have been making great success. The operations that are being conducted by Deputy Minister Jomo Sibiya and other multidisciplinary colleagues are having fruit, but we want employers to make sure that they do not employ undocumented people. They must make sure that they stick by the terms of our law. And this is what will ensure that we create more employment for our people, we create more economic opportunities, and so that South Africans must not have a sense that their jobs are being taken away by people who are not documented. However, we do welcome people who are documented. They can always come and work in our country because we need their skills, we need their know-how. We also need the investment that they bring into our country. And this is the very progressive process that we should all embark upon moving forward. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Please don't forget to subscribe in my channel. I am Sir.jay.g by name, and drop your opinion in the comment section to know what you think about this South Africa especially foreign children that they deny school.